What is God? Nobody knows. No one knows what God is. If someone tells you that they know what God is, and they're trying to control you because they don't. And if they tell you there is no God, they can't know that either because no one knows what God is. I mean, it can be defined so many different ways. It could be a separate conscious being up in the heavens, or it could be the collective consciousness of humanity, what Emerson called the oversoul. You can even, so you could include the animals into that consciousness if you want to. Just the conscious aspect of the universe, the part that seems to know it's alive. And there's some evidence that even plants know they're alive. So it could just be the life force in general. And that's really how I see it personally, but that's just my personal vision. Everybody is allowed to have their own, and no one can do anything about that. But no one knows what God is, what runs the universe, what makes it work. It's the big mystery. That's the wonder and the beauty of it. And all of these religions respected the mystery. And then people get a hold of the books and the things where it's concrete and it's written down, and they take the mystery out of it because that makes it hard. That means you have to get up every day and look at it again. And people want to just put that away and say it's this way and not have to worry about it. But then you don't evolve as a person, because that's what the mystery does, is keep you constantly evolving. And God, this whole idea of God and of consciousness. And here we are, the only consciousness that we know of in the universe, really. And you can say that, the idea of God is looking at all of consciousness and saying, like looking at yourself. Sometimes, how you look at yourself from above and you can watch yourself behaving. Well, it's like that person that you project that into all of humanity, and then you create the God, and then from that vantage point you can watch humans interact, and then you come up with different rules about how we can do things better. And that's where you get the text of religion, and that's a wonderful, wonderful vantage point to analyze human behavior and decide what we can do to advance ourselves. And it has done wonders to move us forward. And to denigrate religion and say it's this, that, and the other is just horrific. Now, to say that certain people have done horrible things with it, yeah, people do horrible things with everything. And so if you want to talk about people and what they do, then that's a whole nother thing. And yes, there are, they're part of our consciousness. They're part of us. And there are parts of us that are just as terrible as anything you can imagine, because that's our imagination, right? And so when we talk about God and we talk about religion, we need to do it with respect and understand that it's not the human beings that claim to be Christians. It's the doctrine and what it says, and for what it can enlighten us, for what it can show us. And we need to look at all the religions and take from it what we can, and look at humanity from that vantage point and see what we're really dealing with here. The brutality and the anger and the hatred and the that's the devil, right? That's what, and most of that, they separated out the bad parts of humanity from the good parts. But the good part, you don't kill the devil. The devil's still there because it's necessary, because the devil isn't going away. And it's that struggle between good and evil that moves us forward. And that is always going to be the yin and the yang. I mean, you can see this throughout different people's religions, that this duality, male and female, male is probably the dark side. I mean, I'm sure we're the fucking dark side, but we're necessary. And that is the duality of the universe. And it's beautiful and it's glorious. We have so much to do. Let's start really looking at things.